Hi, I'm Dan Whittaker. We're going to be having a look at how you can use the ground to create more power and consistency in your golf swing. Today I'm going to look at main factor is going to be over the top in the golf swing. This is a thing that's plagued golfers for years and years. It's been one of those things that people try to fix in so many different ways. People get into the top and always think that the out to win is caused by the arms, okay? So they're going to try to fix what the arms and shoulders are doing by never looking at the lower body, or going down to the pro and buying a driver or a club that's got a draw bias to it. Unfortunately, both of those things are not going to fix that problem for you. You're still going to always come out to win and struggle with either pulls or slices or too much fade in your golf swing. So what we're going to have a look at is what actually happens in your lower body when you get a slice. So we're getting a lot of players get into a really good top of the backswing here. They've turned the hips properly, they've not swayed, they're in really good shape at the top. Well, the big problem is the weight very quickly jumps forwards onto the toes. So as the weight comes onto the toes here, what's going to happen is, from here the legs are going to straighten, and as the legs straighten, it then pulls the weight backwards. So the first move throws the club out to win. The second part of the downswing, straightening the legs, pulls the club back in. So there's the out to win, and then the big weak bit, the opening of the faces, because the upper body is going further away from the ball, the face is now opening. So there's the three factors. You've got the first bit creating the steepening, the second bit's pulling the club back in and across, and the third factor, you tilting back, which is changing that face angle. So that's where the slices are coming in, and obviously as the club gets longer, the shot's going to get worse. So what we're looking at is how that you can create a path that's going to be more in to out using your lower body properly. So from this top of the backswing here, what we're trying to see is this right heel stays near the floor a lot longer, and that the hips and the lower body start to shift towards the target, but with that heel staying down. Now as that heel stays down, I can feel I'm pushing through the floor, and this right shoulder can drop. Now the club is coming from the inside. Conversely, when I was moving onto my toes as coming over the top, see how steep that shaft's got because I'm so far out the shot. That's going to make things really, really difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit one here where I go really out to win and see what numbers they end up coming up with and see how it actually affects the shot. So just going to get a little feel for the movement. That was really thin, and that was massively out to win, and that was going to be a big problem. That is, all three of those problems came in. I went out, I pulled back, and a flip. So that was really, really difficult to control the face. Let's see what the numbers on the TrackMan are saying. Okay, so we can see right here that on those numbers, 8.2 degrees out to win. Okay, and despite the fact that I added so much loft because it came out at the bottom of the face, the kind of dynamic loft somewhere in the middle, but the problem was that I was backing out of it a long, long way. And that's going to be a big problem for you golfers. That's why you're losing so much distance and consistency. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to really try to get a bit of a slight exaggeration on the draw. Okay, so I'm going to make the feeling of getting this right hip to turn back, feel like that right hip stays back, and the heel really, really stays pushing down into the floor. This right shoulder can drop down and under massively, which should really give me a huge chance of getting into out. And at the same time, obviously that weight is going to be shifting across towards the target. But the big focus is the right heel's going to be staying down and nearer to the floor. So that was a little draw right there. Let's see what the numbers are saying here on TrackMan. So we can see the numbers are there, 5.9 degrees into out. So that's way too much into out for what I'd want to see, because I only want to see a small draw. It's a bit bigger than I want it to be. But if I can make a difference there that's that extreme, with a bit of practice, I can then start to feel what the difference is between the two. So what we're going to look at is a couple of drills that can really help you start to feel these changes in your swing. So I'm just going to grab the umbrella from the golf bag here. I'm going to use this for both of these drills. So it's a brilliant way to practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the exact angle of the golf shaft. So putting the club down here, and then I'm running the umbrella in down the angle of the shaft. So get that into the ground right here. We now know that that's at the angle the golf club is set at. The first drill I'm going to look at is putting the club across my shoulders here and getting the feeling of what will happen. I'll show you now here relative to this stick here or the umbrella is if I get on my shoulders on my toes, the club's really coming steep and the shoulders are massively down. The other one is if I get the weight shifting across and I push down into that right heel, you can see how this club is further away from the umbrella. Toes nearer, down, in. So then what I then do is try and replicate that feeling with the umbrella there, which you can then go on and hit golf balls with. And the idea is that if you're from the top here, if you keep that right heel near the floor, the club's going to come down and in, you're going to miss that umbrella and then be able to come through the shot. If you're coming down too steep and moving on your toes, you're going to end up hitting this with the golf shaft, and this is going to massively give you that feedback, and you'll instantly know that you're out to win. So it's a massively important drill to put into your practice, because you get the feedback and know whether you're in to out or out to in, and that's the perfect sort of way to practice, because you're getting feedback at the end of every session. Now this is the last video in our series, covering obviously the biggest problem most golfers suffer with, which is the out to in. If you haven't seen the other videos in the series, we covered everything from driver power, centeredness of contact and consistency. Go and check out all those videos. Hopefully they've been really useful for you, and thanks a lot.